Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not, and this is the third video I recorded today, second review. To be truthful, I said there was no more reviews I was doing. I did these two. The unboxing, which I'm going to actually upload after this, was planned. I just didn't know when. And then I got a couple of Scotty tries that I'm going to do. Alright, now we're going to talk about WWE No Mercy 2005. 2 years before the No Mercy 2007. Like I said, No Mercy was kind of my favorite. And this is back when it was SmackDown exclusive. No Mercy, I like the name. I like the whole aesthetic with the No Mercies and stuff. It was pretty cool. This is No Mercy 2005. Eddie Guerrero's last pay-per-view match. It's sad, I know. Yeah. And this pay-per-view, we're watching this again. It's a little, it's fine, but I mean, there's some better match qualities than the 2007 one. If it wasn't for the 3 Triple H matches and three Triple H matches, I think maybe that one wouldn't be. And the pizza eating contest, it's the same pie. I was looking right at it too. The pizza eating contest was interesting too, but like this was a little meh to me, and it kind of goes to prove that sometimes the pay-per-views, the brand exclusive pay-per-views, sometimes didn't work, because with brand exclusive pay-per-views you have to do all from one brand, stretch things out. The tag, all but one championship was on the line tonight. The tag titles were on the line. For some reason, it was a 6-person tag match, which they still could have done for the titles, given the result. But yeah, we're gonna start talking about it now. The whole thing with this was the two big feuds going into this was Undertaker versus the Ortons and Eddie Guerrero versus Batista. I'll talk more about those when we get into the matches, but those were probably there are 3 good matches on this pay-per-view. I'll get to them. First match, LOD, that is Road Warrior Animal and Heidenreich, with Christy Hemme, the Diva Search winner, versus M&M, Mercury, Nitro, and Melina. And Melina does her leg splitty thing here, much to Taz's delight. Oh ho ho, And this match was fine. It's basically, they were in a tag match against Paul Burchill and William Regal when Eminem attacked them, and they hit Christy Hemme with the snapshot. So, which is basically the Shatter Machine without the knees, basically. Like whatever that was. Basically a 3D, but reversed with a DDT type thing. And they hit Christy Hemme with it. And Taz is making a big deal. Oh, I don't see a neck thing for a Christy here. They're like, she's going to wear a neck brace. She didn't want to wear it, The match was decent. Warrior Animal, not in shape here, but, still showing it up. Christy is really hamming it up in this match. She gets this clothesline on Melina. At one point, it's like going back and forth with the guys and stuff. Then Melina gets tagged in. She gets tagged in. Melina comes in, and she goes to do this thing, kind of like the Heart Foundation, where Animal picks her up. She does this clothesline, and she hits the thing, goes, yeah. And I'm just like, she is really hamming it up in this match, man. But they go up. Yeah, they do the Doomsday Machine with Christy on the top instead of... Okay, Christy at the top rope instead of Heidenreich. Heidenreich's on the outside taking care of Eminem, and then, 1, 2, 3. LOD and Christy were the winners. And they're doing something called Instant Access in the back with people coming in, talking about the match. I don't know. Before the next match, we have a segment in the back where Eddie Guerrero walks into Batista's locker room and wishes him good luck. Batista wishes him good luck, and then they walk back in. Michael Cole says, "What was that about?" I don't know. We have Bobby Lashley versus Simon Dean. Simon Dean comes out and, of course, berates the city of Houston, Texas for the fat people because they have the most fat people in Houston, Texas, I guess. He's got a plate of cheeseburgers brought by, and I'm not kidding you, who we would come to know as Big Dick Johnson. And they even said that was fat people, and Michael Cole says, "Well, look at the waiter," because Big Dick Johnson was a big dude. He's a big dude. But, yeah, so this match, Simon Dean says if he loses this match, he's going to eat the 20 double cheeseburgers that he's brought with. And he's going against Bobby Lashley. So what do you think happens? This match was fine, but it hinges on those burgers. First of all, he takes 2 burgers and throws them, which I feel like shouldn't happen. He says he's going to eat all of them if it doesn't. And he's throwing 2 of them. I know they wanted the tray, and they needed a way to distract him. But why not have the waiter who's out there distract the referee? So they take the thing, tries to hit him, and he hits Bobby Lashley, and he just like no-sells the thing. This is what real happens. He throws the 2 cheeseburgers to distract the referee. He hits Lashley with it. It just kind of bounces off his head, and it does nothing. And then Lashley goes off the top. He picks him up, hits the Dominator. 1, 2, 3. It's over. So now Simon, and just start off going, we cut back every couple matches or so to him eating the burgers, and then just before the main event, we cut back to it again. He's like, "There, I ate all 20. He's like, "There's one more," and it's one that was like, they found one more, and so he eat it, but he doesn't eat it because he pukes, which we hear, we don't see, but yeah, that's just everything. So next is the first good match. Fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship. It is Chris Benoit defending the title against Christian, Orlando Jordan, and Booker T. Match is announced. Sharmell comes out to announce Booker T because she was doing that at this point. It's before King Booker, but this is Booker T. Then the others come out: Christian, Orlando Jordan, and Benoit. This is a great Fatal 4-way match. They talk about, most recently, Orlando Jordan and Benoit has been in rivalry because at SummerSlam, Benoit pinned Orlando Jordan in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So that's the whole thing, is they kept on. They even did a joke where Benoit was filling up a cup of coffee and it said it took longer to fill the cup of coffee than it did to beat Orlando Jordan or whatever that was. I don't know. But, this match was good. There was moves. One point, I think you thought there was a finish because he got, pretty quickly he got Orlando Jordan in the crossface. Oh, it's going to tap. But no, the other two were in the match. It's a tale of someone goes for what could be a finish, someone interferes, that thing. And quite curiously, the finish was kind of weird. So he had Christian in the crossface. It looked like he was going to tap, but then Booker T and Orlando Jordan got back in the ring and stopped it. Only for Booker to knock Orlando Jordan himself over the top rope, and Benoit to put Christian in the sharpshooter for Christian to tap, which was really weird. I'm like, if that's what was going to happen, why not just have him tap to the crossface? I don't know. But this was a good match. A lot of good back and forth stuff. A lot of, fatal 4-way stuff. The whole story here was that they just kind of, it's one of those things where people are friends, and so they stop. We like Booker T and Benoit, the friends, so they stop and they kind of look at him and they go to lock up, and then the other two come in and ruin it. And Sharmell is pissed at Booker. She's yelling at him. He is not your friend. He is not your friend. He is your opponent. He is your opponent. And that leaks into later, but we got next. Oh, at some point there's an interview with JBL and Jillian Hall, who's got that gross thing on her face that the boogeyman would bite off at some point. And he's talking about, I will be Rey Mysterio, and I will take him down. Rey Mysterio comes and starts talking Spanish. Why don't you speak some English? The whole thing. But we have Mr. Kennedy versus Hardcore Holly, and Mr. Kennedy won. This was meh. It was just so Kennedy could have his first pay-per-view win. Didn't mean nothing. And then after this, he walks, Booker T and Sharmell are yelling at each other. He comes in and he goes, I'm the winner! First pay-per-view match ever! Mr. Kennedy! Kennedy! And he goes, winner! And looks at Booker and goes, loser! And he gets all pissed off and just doesn't go anywhere because they end up rivalry, Booker T and Bam Monson. I could put this down now. I was holding it through that match. Didn't mean to. I'm not redoing it though. Next we have JBL versus Rey Mysterio. And again, this was good. Mysterio had some good offense stuff, but it ended with a clothesline from hell. I didn't really see the whole finish. I just saw the clothesline from hell. I don't know if Jillian got involved, but most likely it was fine. This is where I started to kind of zone out of the pay-per-view because these two matches were kind of just meh. After the U.S. title match, these were supposed to calm down matches, and it's just like, okay, it's too calm down, and I just don't care. But next, we pick up again because it's a casket match. The Ortons, Randy and Cowboy Bob, versus The Undertaker in a handicap casket match, and this story tells itself. At WrestleMania, Randy Orton was not able to beat The Undertaker, so they had a rematch after Randy Orton was drafted to SmackDown at SummerSlam. And the match was interrupted by a fan who was later revealed to be Bob Orton, who helped Randy win the match. So this was set up as the rubber match, sort of, even though there was one more after this. It was a casket match, handicap casket match, where Undertaker would have to put two guys in, where they would have to put one in. And I feel like there was way too much back and forth for it being a handicap match. I understand. One of them is Undertaker, and another one is an overweight, out of shape Bob Orton. But I don't know. There was at one point they did this thing where they're like fighting around and stuff, and Bob Orton grabs a fire extinguisher and he's walking around like he's a freaking zombie. Let me use my lunchbox. He's walking around like this. He's going. He's selling his injuries, but he looks like a freaking zombie. What he's doing. And so, meanwhile, Undertaker and Orton are fighting by the casket. The thing's open. Orton comes in with this to attack him. He falls in the casket. And at one point, with Bob Orton, I should say, Randy Orton and Undertaker are fighting on top of Cowboy Bob, who is in the casket at this point. And then they get out. Undertaker shuts it. And according to Michael Cortez, that means he's out of this match. At one point, Randy Orton, Undertaker, they're fighting, and Randy Orton gets picked up by Undertaker, and Taz says, Randy Orton going for a ride? Well, maybe a last ride. Yep, bye-bye. And when he goes to power down, yep, bye-bye. My favorite line, it's tied with my favorite, is this one, yep, bye-bye. From Taz on commentary, and another one when he called the 2004 Royal Rumble with JR, when JR is talking about, all his country stuff, or whatever he's saying, $2 steak, or whatever, some kind of country bumpkin type thing that he says, and Taz just says, what the hell does that mean? I'm from Brooklyn, JR. I love that too. But yeah, this one, yep, maybe going for a ride, maybe a last ride. Yep, bye-bye. Yeah. And, yes, but Undertaker goes to open it, to put Orton in, and Cowboy Bob is there with the fire extinguisher, sprayed him in the face. They eventually get him in there, they lock it, and then they wheel it up to the front of the entrance, on the entrance ramp there. Orton puts takes an axe and puts a hole in it and pours gasoline. And now, I noticed something this time. It looks like there is a trapdoor on the side of that casket there, where he opened it, rolled underneath the ring, and it closed again. So he's not actually in there. And quite suspiciously, when the hole is made, the camera doesn't look inside. So he's obviously not in there, but they set it on fire and watch it burn as and they open it. Undertaker's not in there. Yeah, duh. But yeah. Then there's a cool down match, and I'm gonna explain this. We have the Cruiserweight Championship match, Nunzio versus Juventud. Yeah, I don't have the old Cruiserweight title, so this is gonna have to do. Okay, representation. Yeah, and Nunzio, Juventud comes out to the ring with the other two Mexicools, Super Crazy and Psychosis, on Juan Deere tractors. Yes. And then Nunzio comes out to another banger of an entrance theme, I think. Da-da, da, 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 da. I'm not one for, for instrumental themes, but this is one of the good ones. I like it. There are 2 times I turned up the volume on the TV for a theme. Weirdly enough, it wasn't for Randy Orton, but I wasn't really paying attention at that point. It was just after the Hardcore Holly match or the JBL match, and I was just like, okay, he's coming out. I was busy with other things at the time with main attention. But yeah, and so we have the Cruiserweight title. This match was fine. It went less than 7 minutes. Just a cool off match. A lot of cool stuff. There's some flippy stuff. Juventud wins with a roll up, I think. No, he hits the Hoovy driver, which is just the Michinoku driver. Wins the match. Vito's pissed off, but I'm like, okay, why didn't you do anything? But yeah, and then the Mexico celebrate with Hugo Savinovich, who the Spanish commentator who comes out speaking in Spanish, and they're speaking Spanish. And the only words I know is, your ass is grass and we're the lawnmowers. We are not Mexicans, we are Mexicools. That's the only things that I know, because those were in English. In Porque, I made a joke about this, something about a pork sandwich. It's like, Porque Samoa, or something like that. Like, pork sandwich? No. Porque is like, but why? Or but what? Or something. I don't know. I'm not fluent in Spanish. I know some words. But next, the main event of the evening, the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, by the way, at the end of the Cruiserweight Championship match, Taz announces Juventud as the new Cruiserweight Champion. We have the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista defending against Eddie Guerrero. And the whole story here is, will the real Eddie Guerrero come out in this match? They show a clip during this promo package where Eddie Guerrero comes out. He's like, hey, this is my friend. And he's like, oh, yes, Eddie, I believe every word you say. And then they show a clip like, I want to show you something. And they show a clip of a tag team match that they did where he goes to hit Eminem. And it's very much, he got out of the way, but still stepped in and hit Batista in the back with the chair. And that was, how that went down. Yes. So very much so, he did it on purpose. So we have the World Heavyweight Championship match. And this is the second theme that I turned up. Well, actually, this is third because I kept that up for Batista's, but Eddie Guerrero's heel theme I love almost more than his regular one. Dun, 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 boom, boom, dun. Ba-dum-bum, boom, dun. Ba-dum-bum. It's about time I step into the gangster lane. I love that theme. I was obsessed with that theme, and then shortly before he passed away, he got his Viva La Raza back because they were going to transition him back into his good guy persona before he passed. His last top 5 match was against Mr. Kennedy, I believe. But, yeah. So the story here is, will Eddie turn? At one point, he got a chair, and he's like, come on, you're going to be a chicken shit, you're going to hit me. And he just slams it on the ring mat, and it drops it. And, yeah. And the finish is a little bit screwy for me. Because I feel like Batista was legitimately injured here, maybe. I know that shortly after this, he would have to vacate, but it was after Survivor Series, I think, wasn't it? Maybe. Batista was on the cover of Armageddon 2004. So maybe I don't know. He had to vacate it at some point, but I do know that I think maybe this was the start of it. His back, maybe it was just a story they were telling because he hit him in the back with a chair during that tag match. But he goes to hit the Batista bomb, and he's not able to do it. And then so Eddie's able to hit the Three Amigos, go for the frog splash, but Batista's able to roll out. Eddie rolls out. He picks up Eddie, hits a spine buster. 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, really? On a spine buster? And I thought, well, maybe they had to call an audible because Batista was really injured because of his back. Or maybe this was telling a story and he hit the spine buster because of the back problems. I don't know. It's very iffy for me. But this was a good match. This was a good match. Eddie Guerrero Batista, some of the best in the business. Too bad Eddie was taken before his time. But, yeah. For this pay-per-view, though, I'll give it a B minus. It wasn't as good as in 2007, which I thought wasn't going to be the case. It's just entertaining. But I was more entertained by 2007, so it's a B minus. But it's still pretty good. Yes, I'm giving scores to pay-per-views now, just with letters. I feel like it's justifying. I'm not going to go back and redo all the ones I did already, but maybe it's just for classic ones I'll do, not the new ones. Too much asshole, I think. I don't know, but this was decent. So what are your thoughts on No Mercy 2005? Then come so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.